Hello, everybody. So today we are going to be talking about children's games. I just did a 3-part series on nursery rhymes and their deep, dark, cystic, occultic rooting and exposing nursery rhymes. If you didn't see those videos, make sure you go back and check them out. But because I'm out of nursery rhymes does not mean I'm out of content for you guys. And today we are going to be talking about children's games. That's right. Children's games actually can get pretty twisted themselves. So before we begin with children's games, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed. Share this information with somebody, okay, everybody? So, as I started beginning my research on children's games, I found out a lot of these games just are. They just are, and nobody knows where they came from. They just are. Uh, like, I Spy. I guess you can just can tell that kids just, where did I Spy come from? Probably kids being bored and being like, I spy this or I spy that, and that's just where that came from. But I did find out, like, who the first spy ever was. I wasn't going to share that content because, like, that's not even relevant to the storyline here. But then I was realized you can't say that without then going ahead and saying who the first guy was, right? Like, Jay, you're crazy, man. You're crazy. Well, anyway, check this out. The first spy was an MI6 officer. He was born in 1934. He was Sir Paul Dukes. He was a British spy in Russia during World War I, and he died at 78 years old. And he was known as the man with 100 faces. So I guess he had very elaborate and many, many different disguises. So check out Sir Paul Dukes, an MI6 officer, if you want to know more about where I Spy came from. But as I kept continuing my search, like Red Rover, really nobody knows where Red Rover came from. They think it was in 1828 a steamboat that took passengers right from back and forth from the Hatchie River, and it suggested that it was a chant to taunt early children directed at the Viking invaders. They think that may be where it came from. Once again, they have no idea. All right, so cooties, right? You know the game cooties or tag, right? You go and tag somebody. Well, cooties, right? Cooties comes from coot. The word coot is a species of waterfowl supposedly known for being infected with lice and other parasites. And in World War One, it was originally recorded in 1915 for a term for delicing, and somebody would usually be like, "Oh man, you got the cooties," and they would go on a period of where they would decontaminate themselves, isolation, and for like a week if they had the cooties. So this is where the children games came from, having cooties, and then it developed into tag. So one more for you guys before we get really dark and twisted, okay? So check this out. Hoop rollies. You guys know the game with the hoop and the stick, okay? That actually came from Roman soldiers. The train with spears. That's where that came from. It just went through the ages and developed into a game of stick and a metal ring. Oh, and then there's jump rope. Jump rope was actually, it can be traced back to 1600 AD. It was actually comes from the Egyptians, and mostly it's associated with like a girls game, a young females game. We're playing jump rope, but actually jump rope was actually known to be a male's game. It's a man's game originally. And check this out. I thought this was really interesting. The world record for 30-second jump rope speed contest is 188 jumps in 30 seconds. That is pretty impressive. Like, is that jumps in 30 seconds, or is that how many rotations of the rope, right? Because, like, I'm a drummer, right? And could you just do, like, one rotation? Or, like, if you jump quarter, 1, 2, 3, then dun, 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 dun. But these are rotations of the rope, right? Or could you do 16th notes, four rotations for every jump? So it's I'm just thinking out loud, right? I'm trying to set world records here. Don't laugh at me, people. Don't laugh at me. Okay, so now it's time to get dark. It's time to get dark. Seeing that it's now October 1st, happy October to you guys. Happy October. It is almost Halloween, and I personally love Halloween. I know I'm not supposed to as a Christian. I know that this is a very dark time. It's not the most satanic holiday, by the way. It's not. There are other holidays that are way more satanic than Halloween, and I will do other videos on that. But Halloween is still the celebration of Samhain. It's still it's pretty disgusting. The games that we play today and where they come from, right? So let's go ahead and start off with, like, things that you guys have heard of. You've heard of all of these, right? But, like, the Ouija board, all right? Did you guys know the Ouija board actually started out as a parlor game? It was a parlor game that was established that kept endless jokes and laughing and the fun going at all times. It was a way of keeping, like, questions from the past, present, and future going. It was just a way of never-ending fun. And then that's when the occult witches got a hold of this, and then they turned it into a spiritual game of talking to the dead. That's true. And apparently they asked the Ouija board its name, and it said Ouija. And then they asked it, what does Ouija mean? What's your name mean? And it replied, good luck. So Ouija, if you ask the Ouija board what it means, its name is apparently supposed to mean good luck. And that's coming from beyond the grave. Okay. So, light as a feather, stiff as a board. Okay, you guys remember the movie The Craft, right? Like, I love horror movies. I remember seeing the movie The Craft, right? So, The Craft, you put your two fingers under somebody, and you light as a feather, stiff as a board. Light as a feather, stiff as a board. And then you can pick up the person, right? Well, let me tell you where this comes from. It all the way dates back from a journal entry from Samuel Pepys. He was an admiral in the Navy, the British Navy, I believe, and he had a friend that was supposedly oversaw a bunch of young women that had a dead boy laying in the center, and his friend saw that these young females had their hands under this, repeating that chant, and they picked up the dead body. And later, they saw this happen, the same exact events unfold, and this time it was with a much larger man, with a chef. Now, I'm not sure if this guy was still alive or if he was dead. It did not say. But this much larger man, the same women did this to. Now, his friend reported this to Admiral Samuel Pepys, and this admiral recorded it in his journal, and then this is where the account comes from. But you guys will be interested to know that that is not the original chant. That light as a feather, stiff as a board. That's not the original chant that is recorded in this journal. The original chant is recorded, behold, a dead body, still as a stone, cold as a marble, light as a spirit. We lift you in the name of Jesus Christ. That is the original chant that was recorded as he did, light as a feather, stiff as a board. Now, also, this isn't magic. This comes from, you know how Buddhist monks can take like two fingers and they can do like splits and lift their own body. This is about weight displacement. It's just taking weight and displacing it over several people, and they can pick somebody up. This isn't magic. It's just weight displacement. This is what it really is. Okay. So, all right, guys. So these last three that I'm about to tell you are really, really, these are sick. Okay, so trick or treat. Now that's coming down to Halloween. Trick or treat. Where does trick or treat come from? Well, trick or treat is a Celtic Samhain originated holiday where they used to take a pumpkin and hollow it out from animal fat and put the animal fat inside with a candle, and they would go into town and they would go up to these houses and they would say trick or treat with these pumpkins. Now, what this meant was either you're going to hand over one of your family members to us, or there's a trick. You're going to accept this treat, the pumpkin with the animal fat with the candle, and give us somebody in your household, or there's a trick. What do you think the trick was? Well, they raped and pillaged and burned your house down and killed everybody in your family anyway, or took you all prisoners for the next game. So this Halloween, All Hallows Eve, or Samhain, was a night of tricks and games to be played, and for the pagans, right? So so they would round up all these people for the next game to be played. And one of the games that they played was bobbing for apples. Oh man, this one was bad. Because bobbing for apples, they will say is a way to court people, right? But that, you can take that whole thing. Like, that's not, if you look up bobbing for apples, like, that's not where it comes from. This, where I'm about to tell you, is where it really comes from. So, these pagans would take a big cauldron over a hot stove, put apples in it, and it'd be boiling water. And now, it would make you an offer. And stick your head in there and pull out an apple with your teeth. Or the next game would be played with you, right? So this is a way for you to possibly save your life, because the next one you're not getting out of. And the people that did this would be disfigured forever. They would have third-degree burns, melted skin from their face all the way up to their chest. Think about sticking your whole head into boiling water. This would be horrible to witness. And the pain and agony that went along with these third-degree burns had to be awful. And these people thought it was funny. This pagan holiday of Samhain. Now, the third thing they did, and I'm sure you guys might have saw the movie, have heard of this. It was the Wicker Man. The Wicker Man. They would make a huge, gigantic man, usually out of like a pagan god, and stick the people inside of this man of wicker, and then set it on fire for a human sacrifice. The Wicker Man. Crazy. So trick or treat, bobbing for Apples, and The Wicker Man were all games played on Halloween. Unbelievable, everybody. So that's what we're celebrating when it comes to Halloween. It's just been Americanized. It's been I wouldn't say Christianized, but modernized. And we go and we put masks on, and that's what these people would do when they went to trick or treat. They would dress up in costumes, and so their identity wouldn't be. They wouldn't know who they were, and they would say trick or treat. So that's exactly where trick or treat comes from, right? Very crazy. So everybody, thanks for listening. Give me a big thumbs up. Share this information. Make sure you are subscribed to my channel. Comment down below if you guys have any more information. Comment down below. I would like to hear what you guys have to say. All right, thanks, guys.